よし。始めるか。どうだ。これかな。はい。とりあえず話を聞いていくか。はい。
Greetings, sir.
Ah, hello, my child. I am most pleased to make your acquaintance at this sad time.
Pleased to meet you. I am Lord Winklebottom III, and this is my colleague, Dr. Reginald Frumple.
Bless you, my children. I am Reverend Archibald Peabody.
Peabody.
Do you know any of the other guests?
I believe I may have seen Madame Lavinia at some interfaith conference or other, but not to speak to. Other than that, I'm afraid not.
Do you know why Gilfrey invited you here today?
Oh, I'm afraid I wouldn't know. I've not heard from him for a few years until just recently when he wrote to me out of the blue. I know he had something to announce, but I'm afraid I don't know what.
It is most intriguing, to be sure.
なるほど。全然急だったと。
Well, thank you for your time, Reverend.
Oh, yes, quite so, my boy, quite so.
なるほど。ウィンスレット。
Greetings.
Ah, Winklebottom, isn't it? I've written reports about your exploits for my newspaper.
Oh, really? And which of our adventures have you covered?
Sorry, old thing. Not sure I recognize you.
Frumple? Dr. Frumple? You said you'd covered our
こちら
cases.
様かな。
Oh, that's right. You're the
助手。
gentleman's
ああ、それ
gentleman.
言っちゃいけないや
We're
つ。
partners. Equal partners. Blasted hack.
All right, Frumple. Pleased to meet you, sir, but I'm afraid you have me at a disadvantage.
Winslet's the name, old thing.
Pleased to meet you, sir.
I say, it's true what they say then, about you preferring to walk on all fours. Bit old-fashioned these days, what?
I just happen to think it's rather more
品
refined.
があると
Plus,
思う
it
けど。
bashes bonds on the ceiling if you try to walk in the modern style.
確か
And how do you know Gilfrey? Do you know why you're invited here today?
In reverse order, not a blasted clue, and I'm engaged to his daughter Constance.
婚
You're a
約し
journalist,
て
you
い
say.
る。
Could that be the reason you're here?
Might be, old boy. The old fellow wasn't entirely taken with me, truth be told, but if he wanted somebody to get the word out about something, I'd certainly fit the bill.
You didn't get along with Gilfrey then?
Well, I mean, I've never actually met him, you understand. This is the first time Constance has brought me to the island. But I'm sure he wouldn't approve of me. Crikey, my own
反対さ
family
れている
don't.
結婚って
So
こ
why
と
would somebody else's?
か。なるほど。コンスタンス。
So you're engaged to young Constance over there.
Oh, Winklebottom, I'm a changed cat since meeting her. I was quite the party
飼いな
animal,
らされ
but
た。
fair to say, she's tamed me.
You didn't get on with the Admiral, though.
It was nothing he said, you understand, but I don't think he approved. I don't have a lot of luck with family.
ちょっと家
Even
に
my own
問題が。
disinherited me.
I say,
Hard
that's rather
cuts,
harsh of them.
Too many parties, I suppose. And being a journalist is not exactly an appropriate job for somebody of my status, you know.
Most unfortunate.
I get to keep the title. I'm a baronet, don't you
準
know?
男爵。
But I'm afraid it's left me rather cash poor.
なるほど。
Thank you for your time.
家は結構あれなんだ。多分。そしたら、こっち行くか。はい。コンスタンス。挨拶。
Greetings. You must be Miss Gilfrey. Our most sincere condolences on your sad loss.
If it isn't Lord Winklebottom. Father talked about you often, and you must
娘
be
は
Mr.
完全
Frumple?
に
Doctor, actually.
父親の血を引いてない感じ。これ。
Sorry for your loss, miss.
First mother and now this. I think we must have done something unspeakable in a past life to suffer so much pain in this one. Don't you agree, Lord Winklebottom?
い
There
やー、
has
知
been
ら
some
ね
terrible tragedy here, I agree, but I fear there may be
裏
some
があ
more
る気がす
earthly
る。
causes for the most recent one, at least.
You think there's villainy at work here?
We don't know yet, however, his death was quite the shock, as far as I know, he was fit as a fiddle before he
はい
died.
はいはい
In
はい。
any case, Dr. Frumple will be able to tell us more.
I think, if you don't mind, I'd just like to be left alone for a while.
なるほど。
Goodbye for now, Miss Gilfrey.
バイ。なるほど。サボテン。
A cactus covered in dozens of needles.
I'm keeping well away. Got a dreadful phobia
先
of
端
needles,
恐怖
don't
症
you
なん
know?
だ。
Doesn't that rather interfere with your work as a doctor?
Not at all. I just close my eyes when I use them.
いや、目閉じたら
Very
ダメ
common
だ
fear, you know. Most of my patients scream when they see me with one.
やべえやつやん。ただの。お、これは。あ、
I
取っちゃ
have
った
no。idea what this app is. I'm certainly not going to touch it if I don't know it's safe. Maybe if we could find out more about it.
あ、いきなりは取らねえのか、さすがに。
This pitcher plant is full of a nasty looking liquid. Some kind
樹液
of
の
sap,
一
I
種だね。
presume.
What did you call me?
なるほど。これは。
I once knew a chap who was killed after getting trapped in one of those. So Bumbles the second.
Bumblebee
Very
2世。
nasty way to go.
ホース。
I don't really want to lug around an entire hosepipe if I don't have a reason to.
美味しそうな植物。
I say, this is some most appetizing looking foliage.
食っちゃっていいってことこれ。
My word, this plant really does look frightfully tasty.
ああ。ああ。紳士らしくないですよ、ウィンクルボト
Oh
ム
dear,
さ
how awfully embarrassing. I do hope that wasn't an important clue.
ん。いや、食うだけかい、そして。あ、これは
Let's take these with us.
Indeed, it would be sheer folly to leave them.
シン
I say sheer folly because they're
Yes, I understood. Actually, I believe they're secateurs.
シンプル窃盗だね。戻るか、そしたら。この中も結構あるんだよね。はい。まずギルフリー見ましょうか。
Oh, just look at him, Frumple. Died in his house tube network. It simply doesn't make any sense. He was such a hardy fellow.
if we can get him out, I'll determine what killed him. Never you fear.
から出してあげなきゃいけないと。なるほどね。パイプは
This tube is part of the network of pipes Gilfrey used to get around the house. Being amphibious, he preferred to stay in these as much as possible.
Ingenious system, mind you.
なるほど。でいけ。
Nothing to be done for the poor fellow until we can drain the water, I fear.
We shall have to get him out of there if I'm to do an autopsy. Can't very well determine the
Hi,
cause of
hi.
death just by gawping at him through the glass,
はい
you
はい
know.
はい。はいはいはいはい。
I say, look at this old boy. It's Gilfrey and I during our school days. Ah, those were happy times.
Not for me. Couldn't abide school. The other boys used to make fun of my name. Dumple, they'd call me. The rotters.
なるほど。木箱。
A curious box. Oddly, it seems to be fixed in
固
place.
定さ
It
れてい
appears,
る。
however, that parts of the map itself might actually move slightly.
うわ。パズルか、これ。うわ、なんだこれ。うわー。アラビア。イギリス、イギリス。おー、なるほど。なるほど。あ、なるほど、なるほど。
You know, Frumple, I'm not sure we have all the information we need to crack this puzzle.
なるほどね。
A relic of the Great Frog Wars.
Kaeru
Gilfrey was most
Daisenso.
fond of ancient history.
I say, that axe he's carrying would do you a real mischief if he got on the wrong end of it.
カエル大戦争。
A collection of books, nothing of any great interest right now.
デンジャラス。
A sporting trophy won by Gilfrey. He was always such a strong,
so
fit
no.
chap.
Won a few sporting trophies myself in my youth, you know. Came second in the all boys egg and spoon race back at the old
危ね
academy.
えことして
They
る
let
な。
me keep the spoon. Had to give back the anchor mind.
危
Matron only
ね
laid it
え。
that
危
morning.
ねえな。
An award for Amphibian of the Year. A finer amphibian you could never hope to meet, eh, Frumple?
え
Various works of fiction. These are most likely Ethelberta's. Aristotle preferred his scientific tomes instead.
Ugh, Shakespeare. The masters made us read it at school, toted old rot. Don't mind the one with the two lovers from rival families of mongooses and capybaras, though.
シェイクスピアはいる世界なんだね。なんだこれ。
Ah, this chap is Lord Malcolm Schmidt. I've met him in the house a number of times. A great speaker, although I'm not sure all of it makes a good deal of sense.
Looks most distinguished.
手が
Generally, yes,
手
though
が明
not
ら
so
か
much
に
when
人
food
間
is
なんだ
around.
けど。
Can get quite raucous at times. Ah, look at this. It's Gilfrey and Ethelbert on their wedding day. A splendid time was had by all, I can assure you, Frumple. Such a tragedy Geffelberta passed away so young.
Yes, terrible business. Just terrible.
海軍
Ah, look at him here, the pride of the Admiralty. They say he had the sea running through his veins. Now, let us have a look in here.
おっと
Just some papers.
荒らされてないかこれ
Not
は
inherently so, but in this case, yes. They don't seem to be of any great interest. Although it does seem odd that they're in such a mess. It's almost as if somebody had been rummaging through them in a hurry.
Best way, in my opinion, gets it out of the way. I much prefer reading things with nice pictures in them. Medical books have some excellent drawings.
One would hope that you at least glance at the words, mind you.
開けただけか
I say, Winklebottom, I wonder if these chaps know what happened to Gilfrey.
You could ask, but I doubt they'd hear, and I don't suppose they saw anything anyway. And if they did, they wouldn't say.
見ざる聞かざる言わざるか
A collection of gramophone records.
Oh look, they have Sands of the Sea featuring Periwinkle, Flange and the Crustaceans. I love their music.
I think I'll stick to the classics.
あクラシックいいじゃんレコード蓄音機
One of those newfangled gramophone players. The music plays through this trumpet.
Modern technology is wonderful, just look how tiny it is.
The gramophone's trumpet. This amplifies the sound from the record. I can't remove this trumpet, it's held in place with a small screw.
なるほど枝切りばさみしかないからな一旦出るかそしたらどうやって出るんだこれどうやって出るあローかお誰もいないこれは
This looks like a child's doll. It seems to be a cuddly axolotl.
Bit of an odd thing to keep around.
Ugh, this bed is absolutely filthy. Rumble, what do you make of this?
Looks like some kind of slime or mucus.
Hey,
I'd say this bed is used by a
軟体動物。
mollusk of some sort. Filthy buggers.
これはあんま調べるとこないなあとはキッチンここも誰もいないナイフ
It's surprising how often a good sharp knife comes in handy during an investigation.
自然に取ってくなんなんだ
A bowl of fruit. You know what they say, Frumple? An apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Well, doesn't seem to have worked, does it?
まあリンゴはね体にいいって言うからねあなんだこれ
I suppose you have to light these to heat up the cooker.
Splendid deduction as always, Winklebottom.
ね取ってっていいの
I can't just cause them to spontaneously combust.
When I was in the Calf Scouts, we'd make fires by rubbing twigs together.
I see, and do you have any twigs handy?
You don't have to poo-poo all my ideas, you know.
そうだぞいちいち言わなくていいぞ
At least we know we can make more tea if we need to.
Ah, that's a relief. I feel like I've been nursing this cup for hours now. Though I'll make it next time and put the tea in first like you're meant to.
なるほどお取れない
Oh my god. Frumple, look at this. This is terrible.
What? What is it?
They're keeping red wine in the refrigerator. This is
本
sacrilege.
当行為
Oh, is that all? I thought you found something important.
A block of butter. Might be useful. It's rock solid, however.
I like it when it's solid. Easier to take a bite out of it, you know.
バターゲットしたフライパン
Frumple, you're the food expert. Do you think we should take this with us?
As you wish, but don't expect me to know what to do with it. I'm rather more interested in the end result than the process, you know.
どんどん持っていくじゃんでここは開かないか来たコンロ
Right then, let's turn this thing on. I say, Frumple, do you know how to work one of these things?
Not a clue.
全く戸棚
Just some crockery. Just some odds and ends, nothing useful.
なんやかんやと入っているね
Nothing of interest in here.
何にもない。
Oh, there are some matches in this
Oh.
box. I'll take these, or rather this. There only seems to be one match left.
なるほど。そんなもんか。お、なんだこれは。
Just open this hatch.
Ugh, blasted thing won't stay open.
なるほど。あ、通用口。
This door appears to be locked, most irritating.
開かない。
Yes, quite so. Wonder where it leads to.
開かないのか。で最後が、ここか。なんかいる。うおー。カピバラこれ。カピバラ
Greetings.
じゃない
You are Lord Winklebottom, are you not?
I say, that's amazing. Did you see all that in your crystal ball? Or a message from the spirits, perhaps?
No, I saw an article about you in the newspaper earlier today.
Oh, well, yes, I suppose that would also work.
Anyway, I am very pleased to meet you.
霊媒師。
I am Madame Lavinia, and I am a
Rosie?
spirit medium.
Well, quite. What can you tell me about Gilfrey?
Oh, that poor soul. Such tragedy in this household. First my dear Ethelberta, and now Aristotle. Their daughter must be
怖えなこいつ
devastated.
なんか。
Quite so. Very sad business all round. Very sad.
What's your connection to Gilfrey?
I've known Ethelberta since she was a duckling. I've no
ひな鳥の
idea
頃
why
から
darling Aristotle invited me today, though. None at all.
なるほどね。
Thank you for your time.
この方は
Greetings, madam.
What's that, young
お
man?
お。
Speak up!
I said greetings, madam.
No, it's no good. No diction. That's the problem with you young people. You need to learn to project, my boy.
We're not going to get very far here, Winklebottom. My diagnosis is the old bird is deaf as a post.
I'm so glad to have you here, Frumple. I've no idea how I would manage without your expert opinion on such matters.
Oh, thank you, old thing.
Thank you for your time, madam.
What's that? Move your head closer. I can't hear you all the way up there.
I say, Winklebottom, do you know who this is? It's Dame Celia Wellington Boot.
I'm sure I have no idea.
But she's famous. Dame Celia was a star of the stage. I had quite the crush on her as a young calf.
そうなんだ。
Dame Celia's haberdashery bag. Knitting, sewing, wool, threads and...
あ、飛ばしちゃった。
Large double windows looking out onto the island.
Not exactly the jolliest view one could ask for.
天気悪いな。ずっと。開けれんの
I'm not going to open these, it'll let in a terrible draft.
まあそうだ。お、パイプだ。
This tube is part of the network of pipes Gilfrey used to get around the house. Being amphibious, he preferred to stay in these as much as possible.
Ingenious system, mind you.
This painting is called Adventure Awaits, apparently.
Personally, I could do with a bit less adventure in my life.
なるほど。暖炉。
A roaring hot fire, very cozy.
OK。
A fine-looking grandfather clock, though it appears to be stopped currently. I suppose nobody has wound it for a while.
My third cousin had one of these. I used to mess around with the hands to hear the cuckoo going off.
Are you sure that's not a cuckoo clock you're thinking of?
No, my third cousin is a cuckoo and he really hates me messing around with his grandfather
いと
clock.
こがカッコ。どういうつながりの水晶。
I believe these are used to see into the future. Rather a pity they can't see into the past, so we could find out what happened to Gilfrey. I say, Frumple, I can see a mist starting to form in this.
No, old boy, that's just your monocle steaming up because of the heat from the fire.
Oh, then we probably shan't get any
変に
answers
残っ
this
ている
way.
というわけか。アビーン。
A nice display of flowers. Lovely, delicious
お
flowers.
っと食べんのかい。食べないんかい。持っていけるか。
I suppose a tiny
あ
nibble wouldn't
あーっ
hurt.
と。
Careful, old thing, you'll get your head stuck in that vase.
I say you're right. Yes, my head goes all the way in. I can eat the stalks too.
ああ、食べちゃった。
There's nothing left to eat in this vase.
You're addicted, man.
普通に食っちゃった。さて、一通り見て回ったけど、結局、なんか針金直したいよねっていうのはあるよ
Bit
ね。
suspect if you ask me. Can we repair it?
Maybe if we can find some replacement wire to bridge the gap.
間をつなぐもの。さすがにつなげねえか、これじゃ。外は
We should make sure to fully interrogate everybody inside the house before venturing outside.
And besides, I wouldn't much fancy my chances in that storm anyway.
まだ聞いてないのがいるか。ここでバターを温めるのかな。
Let's put the pan on the stovetop.
はいはい。これバターです。
How thrilling. I've always wanted to try my hoof at cooking.
はいはい。じゃあマッチじゃないこれ。
Need a steady hoof to do this as there's only one match left. There we go, the cooker is heating up nicely now. Ah, look Frumple, the heat has melted the butter into an oily liquid.
で
I can hardly pick this up with my bare hooves. We'll need something to soak it up, I wager.
Well, what about your mane? That's probably absorbent.
That's a disgusting
なんて
thought,
こと言う
Frumple.
んだ、ランプル。救えるものがない。救えるものがないか。救える吸えるなるほど。ちょっと難しい。あ、右廊下ってのがあんのかい。マジか。誰
This is a self-portrait, apparently, of a fellow by the name of Lake Cabilius. A renowned scientist and explorer.
Maybe a colleague of Gilfrey's.
Perhaps so. I believe I may have met the chap once at a party held by him and his husband. Very good food, as I recall.
誰
Ah, I do believe I've met this gentleman, a fellow by the name of Tobin.
トビ
Wily-looking chap. I dare say he would have a tale or two to tell.
Indeed so, quite the talented wordsmith too. He throws around some most impressive verbiage.
はいはい。屋
From
根
what I
裏
recall, this door leads to the attic. Sadly, it appears to be locked at the moment.
Why do people insist on locking doors all over the place? Most inconvenient. Nobody ever considers us.
I rather imagine Gilfrey wasn't expecting to die, so probably wasn't anticipating our investigation.
Well, yes, I suppose the whole thing is rather more inconvenient for him.
なるほど。おライス博士。ライス博士。
Greetings, dear lady.
Oh, hello.
I am Lord Winklebottom III, and this is my companion, Dr. Frumple.
I'm Vivian. Dr. Vivian
いい
Price.
名前だね。
You're a doctor.
Yes. Well, sort of. Not medicine. Geology. And physics. Also biology and linguistics. A few things.
Yes, well, medicine is difficult, especially for a, well, you know.
Frumple.
Oh, don't worry.
Oh,
I'm
oh.
used to that sort of reaction.
わあ、色が。
Were you invited here for this great announcement too?
Me? Oh, no, I live here. Well, not here in the house, but
Hi,
on the
hi, hi.
island. I worked, I suppose, for Admiral Gilfrey.
Strange, the maid didn't mention other stuff.
No, she wouldn't. People tend to forget about me, you see, Mr.
まあ
Winklebottom.
実際溶け込んでる
Sometimes I think I might as well just blend into the scenery.
What was the nature of your employment here?
You know of Gilfrey's expeditions. I helped him examine the artifacts he brought back. Cataloguing, mostly. But sometimes there'd be something more interesting.
Anything recently? Could that be what he intended to announce? Some big discovery?
No, nothing. I'm sure I would have known if there was something like that. I am sorry, Mr. Winklebottom.
ほう
What do you know of the other people in the house?
Not very much, I'm afraid. I haven't really spoken to anybody. I don't even know the
Yes,
staff
killed
all that well. I tried talking to the gardener earlier, but he was in a frightful temper.
You mentioned the gardener was in a bad mood. Do you know why?
Oh, well, he's always kind of grumpy, you know, but he seemed perfectly livid last time I
家
saw
庭
him.
菜園
Thought he was being given the sack, I think. Something about a vegetable patch. You should probably ask him.
なるほど
Thank you, miss.
スポード
Greetings, good sir.
Ulysses Spode of Spode, Spode, and Flabbernacle. At your service, sir.
What a ludicrous collection of names that is.
Quite so, Frumple. And what part do you play in today's events?
Don't rightly know, sir. Old Gilfrey wanted me to come and observe, he said. Worried there might be a spot of bother about whatever it was he was announcing.
問題を
Legal
引き起こ
bother,
す。
you mean?
As you say. Wouldn't tell me in advance what the whole bally palaver was all about, though. I suppose now we'll never know.
Well, perhaps.
So, since I'm here anyway and the old boy has popped off, might as well sort through his paperwork and make sure everything is in order. Lots to sort out when somebody dies, you know. Especially somebody as rich as him.
We shall speak more later.
Always here if you need me.
うお、すごい。
A diving suit, used by Gilfrey to remain out of his tube system for long periods. It looks like the helmet can be
それ
removed.
にしてはサイズでかくないか。
I know I can carry a lot of things, but I draw the line at lugging around a big metal helmet for no very good reason.
さすがに。
A diving suit, used by Gilfrey.
持っていけ。
I don't really think.
お。いろいろあるぞ。
A notepad. Looks like the top page has been torn off.
何
Oh, you know what this means. Quick, give me a pencil. I'm going to rub over it and
この
reveal
作業
what's
大
written
好き
on
な
a
んだ。
torn-off sheet. This is my favourite.
何が好
Here
き
you
な
go
の
then.
It's working, it's working.
Let me see now. 1 dozen eggs, 1 lettuce, a quart of milk. Well done, Frumple. You've uncovered an old shopping list.
Oh, how disappointing.
なるほど。メモ帳。お、手紙用のカッターナ
A
イフ。
small blade used for opening letters.
My God, Winklebottom, this might be it. The murder weapon.
Other than there being no blood in the water, this blade barely being sharp enough to break paper, let alone flesh, and the fact the murderer would have to dry it off and place it back in his desk after using it, rather than just taking it with him, yes, I'd say this fits the facts rather well.
Nobody likes you when you act like a blasted clever clogs, you know.
On top of all that, we don't even know that this is a murder yet.
Yes, you've made your point.
なるほど。引き出し。お、
Oh, look, this is a map of the island. This will
Oh,
be
yeah.
useful, I'm sure.
いいんじゃないか。体
Let's
封
take
筒。
one of these envelopes.
なるほど。まあそんなもんか、この机は。
A photograph from one of Gilfrey's expeditions.
Chap suddenly got around a bit, didn't he?
これは
Oh, I say, this is a bit risque.
少し下
I've
品だ。
never understood why mole rats are so opposed to wearing clothing like any normal animal.
Bunch of exhibitionists, if you ask me.
はいはいはいはいは
Photographs from some of Gil.
Chap suddenly got a...
The sign next to this light says, "Warning:
い。
Do
多
not
くの
open
電
the
源
pressure
が入
valve
って
when
るとき
pump
は
is
圧力
powered."
弁を開
Maybe
けない
just a
ように。
slight turn, just to see what happens.
No, Frumple.
圧力弁。はいはい。
Now this is interesting. Gilfrey would get out of his pipe network in here.
Oh, could he do that? Breathe air, I mean.
Oh yes, for a short while anyway. For longer periods, he'd use a pressure suit. But you see, if we flush out the
hi, hi,
water,
hi.
we might be able to get access to the body.
Then I could carry out an autopsy. Oh, I
Can
do
you
like a
see
good
my
autopsy. Oh, sorry, old man.
回すか。
Let's give this a turn and see if we can't drain the system to get Gilfrey out of there.
Wait, we can't do this while the water pumps are turned on. We'd probably flood the house. Or, at the very least, I might get water in me tea.
なるほど。もう調べるか。
Might come in useful, I suppose.
俺は電話を直せるんじゃないかこれ。
This must be a baby photograph of Constance.
Look at her little bow.
かじってる。
I wonder if I can find any information about that plant we saw in the
ああ、
orangery.
はいはいはい。
Ah, yes, here we are.
What does it say?
Apparently, that sticky fluid in the plant is a kind of resin. Mix it with a strong alkali and apply a heat source, and it'll set hard as rock.
Maybe we could use that for something if we can get hold of a heat source.
強アルカリ。強アルカリ。
The sign next to this light says, "Warning: Do not."
Maybe just a slight...
No.
電源を切らなきゃいけない。電源をどうやって切るんだこれ。
This tube is part of the network.
Ingenious.
電源切りたいね。左廊下もあるってこと？うわ、広広いなあ、これ。
A
猫。
painting of one Max the Tux Sheldon. I say, didn't this fellow help us out in a case once?
Indeed so. Quite a respectable chap now, but had a bit of a murky past, I recall.
Yes, gave us some information about a particularly loathsome fellow who'd been running a smuggling ring.
これは調べらんない。犬。
I say, Frumple, this is a portrait of King Alec, a most popular monarch in his day.
Oh, indeed so. A very good old boy, as I understand it.
Quite so, Frumple. A good boy indeed. A portrait of Vitus Varnus.
Maybe
Vitus
something Gilfy knew
Varus.
from his military days. Looks like a pretty tough, brave sort to me, at any rate.
Seems like a most agreeable fellow.
浴室。おほ。
Part of Gilfrey's pipe network. This one must have allowed him to easily get into the bath.
Looks like great fun. Would be better with a mud pit at the end of it, though.
泥沼好きなんか。カバだからそうか。便座。
Different seats for small, medium, and large public areas.
ああ。
Saves accidents with smaller animals falling in the
なるほど
bowl.
ね。
Most considerate. I don't wish to go right now, and certainly not with Frumple standing here.
どういうこと？
Look at this. Silly beggars have put the toilet roll on the wrong way round.
You know, between this and the tea fiasco, I sometimes feel like I
逆向きなの
barely know
こ
who
れ。
you are anymore.
お、
I'll just take this.
You know, I can prescribe medication if you need it. You don't have to go around stealing drugs from dead people.
It's an empty bottle, Frumple.
ああ、空っぽね。なるほど。煽る。
This might prove useful.
Absolutely not. Why, if you take that, people won't be able to wash their hooves
私
after
が許さない。
revolutions. Absolutely filthy. No, I won't allow it.
取っていけないか。なるほど。で、寝室。
The guest bedrooms are all down here. I suppose we should investigate.
Don't know why we bother. Even the daftest criminal isn't stupid enough to leave incriminating evidence lying around his own bedroom. Well, that was a bally waste
ひ
of
ど
time.
く無駄な
What
時
did I
間だ
tell
っ
you?
たな。
I know, old friend, but we had to do it.
なるほどね。これで一旦外に出れるんじゃないか。おお。
I say, Frumple, look, there's an imprint here. Somebody must have dropped something in the wet
影
mud.
落ちてんじゃん。
On the shape, I deduce.
It's very obviously a key. There's no need to act so bally clever about it, you know?
As you say, a key.
パンフリー。何これ。あ、ナメクジだ。
Hello, my good man.
Do you mind? I have work to do. This storm is going to ruin my plants.
Perhaps you've not yet heard, but I'm afraid your master.
Oh, I've heard. And where does that leave me? That's what I want to know.
かけらもない
Very
ご主人さん。
inconsiderate of him it is.
Charming fellow, isn't he?
I wonder if you could help procure me some kind of portable heat source.
Procure a heat source? Look,
It's
Ross, if you want to
Gengasi.
borrow a lamp, just bloody well say so, why don't you?
Well, if it's not too much trouble.
Oh no, that's just fine and dandy. I tell you what, you wait here in the shelter while I go off in the middle of a bloody storm to find you a lamp. Wouldn't want you to go to any bother, like.
Most gracious of you, I'm sure.
Well, here you are then. Do be careful not to burn your bloody hooves on it, won't you? I'm off inside now that I've battened
Gee,
down the
what was
ashes
it,
out
Takara?
here. Don't feel you have to follow me, like.
Never did like invertebrates.
なんかゲットした？お。火の灯っていないランプ。なるほど。島。
It's no good, we won't get anywhere in this weather. We'll have to wait until the storm clears up.
なるほど。なるほど。
I say, Frumple, what on earth was that?
Some kind of commotion coming from the drawing
No,
room,
no,
I
no, no.
think.
Quickly, we must investigate. Quick, Frumple, to the orangery. Miss Gilfrey is in grave danger.
なんだ。
Miss Gilfrey, what is it? Whatever is the matter?
Oh, Lord Winklebottom, it was terrible. A simply frightful thing.
I say, steady on. What are you talking about?
Out there, Dr. Frumple, out in the dark, it was a creature, a thing.
Creature.
I've never seen such a ghastly sight.
Are you sure, Miss Gilfrey? Could it perhaps have been Mr. Walters returning to his boat?
It wasn't a person, Lord Winklebottom. It wasn't an animal at all. It was wet and hairless and... Oh, God,
濡れていて
that
毛がなくて
face. I shall never forget it.
What now? Please, try to be calm, Miss Gilfrey. We must investigate.
Oh, sirs, thank goodness you're here. He just burst in, soaking wet, ranting and raving about a monster.
ソルティじゃん
Ah, a foul, fearsome beast! Away! Away with you!
Poor fellow looks in a bad way. Frumple?
Chap seems delusional. We should get him into bed
幻
for some
覚を見
rest.
ている
Came at me out the trees, a malign monster! Ah! Tis after me! Tis after me!
Looks like he needs a good rest.
He can use one of the beds in the servants'
産
quarters.
地削られ
I'm
てんじゃん
sure Ambrose won't object.
Right then, Frumple, let's help get him into bed.
As long as I don't have to get too close, he smells like a blessed brewery.
Come on then, old chap.
クトゥルフ神話
Right, we've got the fellow
TRPG 味を帯
settled.
びて
Should
き
be
た
round to
な
rain soon.
As long as the poor guest doesn't come for him.
I say what?
Oh, never mind me, sir. Just a silly fancy.
Did you say Barguest? Like the name of this island?
It's daft, really, I suppose, but the bar guest is a ferocious monster sent to roam the island at night. He's part dog, part monster. They say that anybody who sees it will surely die soon after.
Sounds like a pretty disagreeable chap, what? As a poppycock, mind you.
やべえじゃん
One last thing, sirs, if it pleases you. In all the commotion, Madame Lavinia has misplaced her crystal ball. Says it's been stolen. Would you believe it?
Dashed careless of her.
I've promised to keep an eye out for anything suspicious
次から
out here,
次へと
but
問
maybe
題
you
が起き
could
る
go
な
and talk to her.
Very well, we shall see what the problem is.
溶かしたバターどうなってるまあいいかどうした
What can you tell us about the lady sat over there?
Oh, I can't get a word out of her. The old bat needs some sort of hearing aid, if you ask me.
These modern hearing aids are a miracle of science. Some are barely larger than a briefcase, you
ビー
know.
フケース
I say, what's happened to your crystal ball?
Oh, it's that criminal sat in her chair over there. She's acting like she's oblivious, but look at her bill. She's clearly stolen it.
Well, that's really not on.
I even tried mentioning the Scottish play to shock it out of her, but she's deaf as a post.
The Scottish play?
The Shakespeare play. Macbeth. Actors are terrified of it. Think Shakespeare will come and eat them if it's even mentioned, or
マ
something
ク
like
ベス
that.
マクベスじゃなくて
Thank you for your time.
取った本当に
Madam, perhaps you could return the good lady's crystal ball.
What's that? Music.
あ確かになんか
Ah, you must be a fan.
隠せるような場所
Sorry, darling,
あるな
I
こい
don't
つ
do requests.
Daft old bird.
愚かな老長だマクです
Macbeth.
The cheek! I do not have bad breath.
Well, that worked about as well as could be expected.
Thank you for your time, madam.
What's that?
なるほど
Dame Sealy's haberdashery.
なるほどなるほどなんかしなきゃいけないんだろ
A
うな
map of the island.
何かをしなきゃいけないんだろうヒント
Any ideas, old thing?
I'd like to see what's inside that hatch in the kitchen. We must be able to get
あ
it
あ
to stay
ー
open
はいはいはいは
somehow.
いはいはいはいはいはいでこれさこれこれとこれ組み合わせるんじゃない
I'm not sure they're designed for metal, but these shears are just about managing to get through the coat hanger.
Looks like they're jiggered now, though. Best check
あ
them
らららら
away.
らこれでここじゃない
Not the most professional repair, but I think this should allow us to use the telephone.
お
Let's give this a try then.
チャレンジ
Ah yes, I have a connection.
おー
Operator, get me Scotland Yard.
Has it got through?
She's just connecting me now. Ah, greetings. This is Lord Winklebottom. I wish to report a suspicious death on the Isle of Bargast. I say hello? Hello?
What's wrong?
The line's dead. Must have gone down somewhere outside the house. Blasted, I don't think my message got through.
あら
Down to us, Frumple. We must investigate this death ourselves.
結局結局かーい。結局ダメか。じゃあキッチンに行くか。これ開けっぱなしにしたいよって言ってるんだけど、どうやって包丁。
I can't get this into the gap to wedge open the door. Need something smaller.
なるほど。お
I'll just touch the wick to the flame, and here we are. The lantern is illuminated.
おお、んだな。これは温室じゃないか、さすがに。
Well, what is it?
I wonder, was there some trouble between you and Gilfrey? If you don't mind me saying so, you seem a touch put out.
Put out? Put out? I'm bloody livid, mush. The old git was planning to tell me to sling my hook. I heard him saying as much.
He was going to fire you.
Too bloody right he was. I heard him talking about me to someone over the phone.
And you're sure it was about you?
Of course it was. Gone too far this time, he said. Get it out of hand, he said. Just because I like to sample the vegetable garden from time to time.
Sample?
All right, I ate the old bloody lot. I mean, I can't help it, can I? It's in my bloody nature, isn't it?
Well, plants are frightfully tasty, old thing.
Exactly. You know where I'm coming from. And be honest, if it's a choice between some lovely homegrown lettuce and that slop barrel cooks up, well, I mean, you just would, wouldn't you?
I say, old thing, there really are some delightful plants in here.
Oh, delightful, are they? That's rich, isn't it? Delightful, he calls them, after he's been helping himself to some of my award-winning shrubbery.
I'm sure I don't know what you mean.
Oh, don't you indeed? Well, who else is going to reach up the top of that plant over there and have himself a munch on it? Oh, I know. It must have been the bloody sea lion, mustn't it? Yes, that'll be it. Famously long neck of sea lions.
It was just a few leaves. Barely any, really. Well, thank you for your time.
Go on then. Push off. See if I care.
I have reservations about doing this. From what I've read, this stuff might be... Right then, I'll collect a quantity of sap in the empty bottle.
で、これをこうかな。
No.
違うんかい。ホース。
I don't really... Goodbye for now. Mr. Walters?
Avast and away with you!
Is he drunk again?
A foul beast more terrible than the kraken! Begone! Begone!
I think he might be dreaming.
Fella's gone crackers if you ask me.
I should never have shot the albatross. Cursed I be! But he knocked over me pint.
Seems like he's delusional, or at least I hope he is.
ウォルターやられちゃったじゃん。まあそれは置いといて。見た。使用人客。何をすればいいんだ。あ、ここ調べてねえじゃん。
Looks like our dear friend Inspector Culver has solved another case. It seems this was an international case. He was aided by a foreign chap named Inspector Waffles.
I'd rather go for a waffle right now.
Is there any time you couldn't?
ウィンケース。
I think I'll leave these be. Not really cricket to go around stealing from a dead chap.
I mean, you've done nothing but walk around picking up things that don't belong to you since we left home this morning, but have to draw the line somewhere, what?
俺は 取れないよと。
A collection of old foreign coins. Godfrey liked to keep them as a memento of his travels.
I had a patient pay me in foreign currency once. Gave me 1,000 something or others as payment. Thought I was rich. But it turned out they were only worth half a crown.
地球儀を調べるんだ。
Let's
You must be flummoxed if you think we're going to be in this blasted place long enough for you to start getting correspondence.
お、なんか手に入れたぞ。あしゃ、
No, I don't.
違うよね。
I've already got.
ここも開かねえしな。
No, I don't think this is. I can't get this into the gap.
あ、これじゃね？
This might do the job if I hold the door open with one hoof and try to jam the letter opener in with the other. Yes, I think that's going to keep the door
お
open.
お。
Right, with this door held open, I can just about get my head in here. Let's have a look inside, shall we? Well, that was a tight squeeze. I can't really do much down here, but I can have a look around at least.
窮屈だな。
Looks like there are some bags over yonder, but I can't tell what's inside them. This system must feed water into the rest of the house, the taps, Godfrey's pipe network, the orangery, and so on.
LYE。
This is a bottle of lye, an alkali
はい
used
は
for
いはいはい
cleaning.
はい。取れないか。これをいじるんだ。
This switch seems to be connected to the pump system that drives water through Godfrey's in-house pipe network.
これをいじるんだ。
Alas, I cannot reach the switch from this undignified position. We'll have to get into the room.
無理か。無理か。だけ見ただけ
Any ideas, old thing?
We need to.
でも本当にこれ見るだけ
This is a dangerous substance. I don't especially want to pick it up with my mouth, but I suppose I
取れ
don't
るか
really have a choice.
取ったー、すごい。さすがです。一旦ここまでにしとこうかな、今日は。ちょっとあんま進んでねえけど。まあ、次回までにちょっと目星をつけてやろうかな。よし、今日ここまで。ご視聴ありがとうございました。またねー。